You don't say? Well, hold my beer. This build is for advanced users. Please refer to the link on the description for non-Uber setup. I won't explain anything related to defenses as this build focuses more on damage. If you follow the planner, you will have max armor and capped elemental resistances. Before we start, here are my current items and my stats. Please note these are not properly optimized yet. Please refer to the planner that is linked below. Please be also advised that this build focuses more on damage and will give you relatively lower HP. Theoretically, it can push up to 140s or higher, but for the love of me, my ceiling are my own skills. The build is not really made for pushing as indicated by those people at the start of the video. I just made this video for people who enjoys the Whirlwind playstyle. Bleed mechanics will change in Season 5 because of the nerfs for the Hemorrhage legendary node favoring builds that utilizes the Grandfather. There are two major factors that contributes to this build's awesome damage: berserking uptime and vulnerable uptime. All bleed damage are applied through the berserk ripping aspect and gushing wounds, which requires you to be in a berserking state to take effect, and is further enhanced by the Hemorrhage legendary node, which requires the enemy to be in a vulnerable state. In this build, I will show you how to keep your berserking to be active almost 100% of the time and a better way to make enemies vulnerable. This build will give you 100% berserking uptime if you play it right. It is important to have at least 9 seconds of charge cooldown for you to be able to achieve that. This is the reason why this tempering and ranks to charge on your boots are really important to this build. Charge will give you 3 seconds of berserking because of Battle Fervor passive. Plus these nodes from the paragon will roughly grant you 4 to 5 seconds of berserking. Just rinse and repeat, and you will have 100% berserking uptime if you play it right. As for vulnerability, I find that the aspect of a cursed touch applies it more consistently and longer than any other method. As you can see from the video that you are watching right now, the boss has been vulnerable for quite some time now. Now, let's talk about ratio. I've tested so many ratios out there before coming to a conclusion. And that conclusion is it depends. In my own opinion and through various tests, I found that a ratio of 0.6 between vulnerable damage and critical strike damage is good. Take this with a grain of salt. Do your own testing, share your findings, and together as a community, we'll find better results. You must be wondering what else is contributing to this build's awesome DPS. Ladies and gentlemen, enter Thibaut's will. This badass pants provide you not only with unlimited amount of fury, but also with up to 20% multiplicative damage, almost 100% of the time, because of the way we spam charge in this build. And of course, the mighty. Just kidding. The mighty Polearm. On paper, the Grandfather can provide you with shit ton of stats, but Polearm gives you 25% multiplicative damage. How does that compare to the Granddaddy? I have no real clue, but the numbers do not lie. We are still using the two-handed axe expertise on this build, as we are already enjoying the Polearm's amazing benefit by just using as our Whirlwind's weapon of choice. Please remember to set the Polearm as your weapon for your Whirlwind skill. Also, please be advised that any blank tempers on the planner are to be substituted by using your rogue character to temper critical strike damage or vulnerable damage, depending on what you're missing. It is also important to note that you must have 100% Dust Devil size and 100% chance to cast Dust Devil twice for you to be able to maximize this build's damage, or for any other Dust Devil builds out there. The difference between 80% and 100% is day and night. And lastly, I want to talk about greater affixes. Your first priority here is critical hit chance. It does not matter if you have shit ton of stats if you are not critting more often than needed. All that damage will go to waste if you are not critting. Remember that you need to crit for gushing wounds to take effect. Trust me, the difference between 60% and 70% is day and night. Critical hit chance greater affixes are crucial for this build. You need to have at least 70% critical hit chance but the recommended value is 80%. Critical hit chance greater affix is a priority for your gloves, accessories, and amulet. For your weapons, vulnerable greater affix is the priority. I was not even wearing the right items on this video, if you look at the item showcase in the end. I was too excited to test the build. Now that is it for this guide. Enjoy the rest of the video. If you liked my video and find it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it to your mates. Any questions or violent reactions? Please let me know through the comments section.